Chosen one, this message did not find you by coincidence. You were not led here by curiosity, boredom, or chance. There is a reason these words are reaching you now, at this exact moment, in this exact season of your life. Divine timing is never random. When God speaks, He aligns the message with the readiness of the soul receiving it. If you are listening, it is because something within you is prepared to remember who you are and why you have endured what you have endured. There was a time when no one came to you. When silence followed your prayers. When effort went unnoticed and faith felt one-sided. You tried to explain yourself, but your words fell flat. You tried to show your heart, but it was misunderstood. You tried to hold things together while quietly falling apart. And in those moments, it felt like you were standing alone, carrying weight that was never acknowledged. But heaven was not absent. God was not ignoring you. He was building something in you that could not be rushed or witnessed. You were being trained in secrecy. Strength was forming where applause could not interfere. The character was being shaped where validation could not distort it. God often removes the crowd before He reveals the calling, because purpose develops best when it is not constantly observed or influenced. What felt like abandonment was actually divine focus. What felt like rejection was divine editing. Others were allowed to walk away because they could not accompany you into the next phase. Not because they were evil, but because they were not aligned. God does not punish by removal, He protects by separation. And every goodbye you did not understand was making room for clarity, stability, and spiritual authority to grow within you. Now something has shifted. You may feel it in the way you think, the way you respond, the way you no longer chase what once drained you. Peace has replaced urgency. Discernment has replaced confusion. You are no longer asking for permission to exist in your truth. And because of that shift, the same people who once doubted you, overlooked you, or left you behind are beginning to feel the absence of what they misjudged. This message marks a turning point. Not because you are finally seen, but because you no longer need to be. After all the tries, after every attempt to find fulfillment elsewhere, they are being led back, not by your effort, but by God's order. And as you listen, you will understand why you were the answer all along. There was a season in your life when being overlooked became normal. You watched others be chosen, celebrated, supported, and believed in, while you remained in the background, quietly faithful, quietly consistent, quietly enduring. It wasn't that you lacked ability or heart. It wasn't that you weren't trying. It was that God had already chosen you for a path that could not begin with public approval. When people did not choose you, it taught you something rare, how to stand without validation. You learned how to keep going when encouragement ran dry. You learned how to show integrity when no one was keeping score. And although it hurt, it stripped away the need to perform for acceptance. God was teaching you to move from identity, not for identity. In those moments, doubt tried to take root. You questioned your worth. You replayed conversations. You wondered if you were missing something everyone else seemed to have. But what you didn't see was God protecting you from premature exposure. If you had been chosen too early by people, you might have depended on their approval instead of God's direction. So heaven allowed the silence to train your spirit. While others were supported, you were strengthened. While others were affirmed, you were refined. While others were promoted, you were prepared. The process felt unfair because it was invisible. Preparation often feels like delay when you do not know what you are being prepared for. But God was not ignoring you, He was investing in you. You became resilient without becoming hardened. You became aware without becoming bitter. Even in loneliness, you kept your heart open. That alone reveals the depth of what God was forming inside you. Many people grow guarded when they are overlooked. You grew grounded. This season also revealed loyalty, both yours and others. You stayed committed when it would have been easier to walk away. You remained faithful when the reward was unclear. And through that faithfulness, God established trust. Not trust in your perfection, but trust in your willingness to remain aligned when outcomes were uncertain. Now, as attention begins to return, remember this truth: you were chosen before you were recognized. And those who did not choose you then are not your judges now. God's choice was always the deciding factor. And because He chose you in secret, what comes next will not be shaken by opinion, comparison, or delay. You did not lose anything in that season. You gained stability that cannot be taken from you. Chosen one, it was not an accident that the people who once overlooked you were allowed to search elsewhere. God did not block their options, and He did not force their loyalty. He allowed them to try other paths, other people, other solutions, because some lessons can only be learned through experience, not explanation. What they could not see in you then, they had to lose elsewhere before they could recognize. When God allows distance, it is not always about removing you from others, sometimes it is about removing illusions from them. They needed to discover that what they were chasing could not sustain them. They needed to experience the emptiness of substitutes, the instability of shortcuts, and the disappointment of misplaced trust. Had they stayed with you without understanding your value, they might have taken you for granted. While they were searching outward, you were being anchored inward. Your growth did not depend on comparison. Your peace did not depend on their recognition. And because of that, you became stable in a way that cannot be imitated. God was not trying to prove you right, He was establishing you as rooted. They tried what looked impressive. They followed what was popular. They trusted what promised speed instead of depth. And for a while, it may have seemed like they were ahead while you were standing still. But appearances rarely tell the full story. Growth without grounding collapses under pressure. And many of those paths they chose could not endure. God allows people to exhaust their options so they return with clarity, not curiosity. When they come back now, it is not because you chased them or changed yourself to be accepted. It is because time revealed the truth. Your consistency exposed their instability. Your silence answered questions they didn't know how to ask. This separation also protected you. Had they remained while doubting you, they might have drained you, delayed you, or pulled you out of alignment. God values your peace too much to sacrifice it for familiarity. Distance was not punishment, it was preservation. Now, as they begin to return in thought, memory, or physical presence, understand this: their return does not elevate you, you were already elevated. Their recognition does not complete you, you are already whole. God allowed them to try everywhere else so that when they came back, you would not need them, and they would finally understand what they once overlooked. Chosen one, while others were searching for answers outside of themselves, something far more important was being formed within you. The absence they left behind created space for growth, clarity, and strength that could not have developed in a crowded environment. God often uses separation not to weaken, but to deepen. And in that depth, you became someone entirely new. You learned how to sit with silence without rushing to fill it. You learned how to hear God's guidance without needing confirmation from people. Decisions that once required reassurance now come from discernment. That is not confidence built on pride, it is stability built on experience. You no longer move to be seen, you move because you are led. Pain refined you, but it did not harden you. Disappointment sharpened your awareness, but it did not steal your compassion. That balance is rare. Many grow cold after being overlooked. You grew clear. You learned the difference between loneliness and solitude, between isolation and alignment. And once you understood that difference, peace began to replace restlessness. Your standards also changed. You no longer accept inconsistency disguised as potential. You no longer confuse attention with intention. You stopped explaining your worth to those who could not recognize it. Not because you became distant, but because you became grounded. Boundaries formed naturally, without resentment or fear. God was also forming patience within you, not passive waiting, but active trust. You continued to show up, even when results were delayed. You remained faithful to your calling, even when no one applauded it. That kind of endurance builds authority. It is why your presence now feels different. People may not know what changed, but they sense it. Your identity stabilized during this season. You stopped borrowing value from roles, relationships, or outcomes. You began operating from who you are, not what you receive. That shift is powerful. When identity is secure, influence becomes effortless. You no longer need to prove yourself, your consistency speaks for you. So when they look at you now, they are not seeing the same person they left. They are encountering someone formed by patience, sharpened by silence, and anchored by truth. What was formed in you while they were gone cannot be undone by their return. Chosen one, the moment they began to notice you again was not caused by anything you announced, posted, or explained. It was the result of an invisible shift, one that occurred quietly, deeply, and beyond human control. Spiritual weight changed. Alignment settled. Authority formed. And when that happens, attention follows naturally, without effort. You did not become louder, you became steadier. You did not chase visibility, presence began to speak for you. There is a point in growth where striving ends and being takes over. That is the point you crossed. People are drawn not to noise, but to stability. They are not responding to performance, they are responding to peace. This shift happened because your inner world finally matched your calling. Before, you carried potential without structure. Now, you carry purpose with grounding. Heaven waits for this alignment before allowing recognition, because recognition without stability creates pressure rather than influence. You were stabilized before you were seen. Others felt this shift even if they could not name it. Conversations about you resurfaced. Thoughts of you returned unexpectedly. Comparisons began forming quietly in their minds. This is not coincidence. When God completes a phase in someone, the atmosphere around them changes. And those connected to your past sense the difference. What makes this shift powerful is that it did not require validation to sustain it. Even if no one returned, you would still be whole. That independence from recognition is what gives your presence authority. You are no longer waiting to be chosen, you are already established. This is also why some people feel uncomfortable around you now. Your clarity exposes indecision. Your peace confronts chaos. Your boundaries challenge access. Not everyone who notices you is meant to reconnect. Awareness does not always equal alignment. Discernment is required. The invisible shift was not about elevating your image, it was about completing your foundation. And once that foundation was secure, attention followed naturally. God does not announce when He finishes His work, He reveals it through results. So if you've noticed eyes turning back toward you, understand this, they are not seeing something new. They are finally seeing what was always there, now fully formed and no longer hidden. Chosen one, their return is not random, and it is not driven by nostalgia alone. People are coming back now because something in their lives reached its limit. What they once believed would sustain them has revealed its weakness. The paths they chose did not deliver what was promised. And when stability collapses, people instinctively look for what is real, grounded, and enduring. They are not just returning to you, they are returning to what you represent. Consistency, integrity, depth, peace. These qualities cannot be fabricated or rushed. They are built through endurance, and endurance is something they witnessed in you, even when they underestimated it. Now that they are tired of surface-level solutions, they recognize the value of what they once dismissed. Some return with humility, aware of their misjudgment. Others return quietly, unsure how to approach you after the distance. And some return not physically, but emotionally, thinking about you, comparing you to what they chose, realizing too late what they let go. Each return carries a different motive, and not all of them require a response from you. It is important to understand this: their return is not proof of your worth. Your worth was never in question. Their return is proof of growth, yours and, in some cases, theirs. But growth does not guarantee access. Just because someone recognizes your value now does not mean they are entitled to your presence. God allowed them to leave so you could become whole without them. That is why their return no longer controls you. You are no longer waiting to be chosen or validated. You can observe without reacting, listen without absorbing, and discern without fear. That freedom is evidence of maturity. For some, your life now serves as a mirror. It reflects what consistency looks like. It exposes where shortcuts failed. And that reflection can be uncomfortable. Not everyone who comes back wants connection, some want relief from regret. Wisdom will help you tell the difference. Remember this: you do not owe access to anyone who returns. You owe alignment to God and peace to yourself. Some people are meant to reconnect in a healthier way. Others are meant to remain lessons from a previous season. Their return is not the climax of your story. It is a confirmation that the work God did in you was real. And you are no longer moved by who comes or goes, you are grounded in who you are. Chosen one, not every return is a reunion, and not every apology is alignment. Discernment is now one of your greatest responsibilities. God did not strengthen you so you could reopen doors without wisdom. He refined you so you could choose with clarity, not emotion. This season is not about reacting to who comes back, it is about protecting what was built while they were gone. Pay attention to patterns, not promises. Words are easy, consistency is rare. Some will return speaking humility, but carrying the same instability. Others will apologize without changing behavior. True alignment reveals itself over time, not in emotional moments. You no longer need to rush decisions or give immediate access. Peace grows where patience is honored. Ask yourself this: does their presence add clarity or confusion? Do you feel grounded after interacting with them, or drained? Discernment speaks through peace, not pressure. Anyone who pushes urgency is revealing insecurity. Anyone who respects your pace is revealing maturity. God's order never rushes reconciliation. It is also important to release guilt. Setting boundaries does not make you unkind. Saying no does not make you unforgiving. Forgiveness releases the past, boundaries protect the future. You can forgive someone and still not allow them close. That balance is wisdom, not bitterness. Some returns are tests, not invitations. They reveal how far you've come. They show whether you will choose familiarity over alignment. God does not bring people back to disrupt your peace, but He allows the choice to reveal your growth. And you are no longer the version of yourself that accepts inconsistency for comfort. There will be those who truly changed, who did the work, learned the lesson, and approach you differently. These connections will feel calm, not chaotic. They will not compete with your peace, they will respect it. These are the ones alignment may allow. But understand this: even right connections do not define your direction. God does. People may walk with you for a season, but your foundation remains in Him. You are no longer dependent on anyone's presence to feel complete. Discernment is your protection now. Use it without fear. What God built in you is too valuable to be reopened without wisdom. And as you choose carefully, you will move forward lighter, clearer. Chosen one, another layer of discernment you are learning now is this: you no longer need to explain your decisions to be justified. In earlier seasons, you felt compelled to clarify, defend, or soften your boundaries so others would understand your heart. But this season requires something different: quiet authority. Authority does not argue. It does not over-explain. It stands, and what is not aligned either adjusts or leaves. Some people will struggle with the version of you that no longer negotiates peace. They were comfortable with your availability, your patience, your willingness to carry more than your share. When that changes, they may label you distant, cold, or changed. Let them. Growth often looks threatening to those who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You are not responsible for how others interpret your obedience to God. You are responsible for remaining aligned. When you begin to honor your limits, you will notice who respects them and who resists them. Resistance is information. Anyone who tries to guilt you back into old patterns is revealing that their connection to you was conditional. This is also a season where silence becomes powerful. You do not need to announce your next move. You do not need to share your plans prematurely. What God is building now requires protection from opinion and interference. Silence is not secrecy, it is stewardship. You guard what is valuable until it is ready to stand on its own. You may feel moments of loneliness again, but it is different now. This loneliness is not rooted in rejection, it is rooted in elevation. When your standards rise, your circle naturally narrows. Not everyone can meet you where you are, and that is not a failure. It is alignment in action. Heaven is teaching you how to walk in authority without becoming hardened. You can be firm and kind, clear and compassionate, boundaried and forgiving. These qualities are not opposites, they are balanced. And balance is what sustains longevity. As you move forward, trust the peace that follows your decisions. Even when choices feel uncomfortable, peace will confirm alignment. Anxiety follows compromise. Calm follows obedience. Let that be your compass. This is not a season of proving, you have nothing left to prove. It is the season of positioning. What stays with you now will be intentional. What leaves will do so quietly. And what comes next will not require chasing, convincing, or striving. You are walking forward with clarity, authority, and restraint. And that posture is exactly what prepares you for what God is about to place in your hands. Chosen one, as this message comes to a close, allows your spirit to settle into one simple truth: you are not late, you are not exposed, and you are not walking alone. Everything you have experienced, the pressure, the watching, the isolation, the sudden clarity, the quiet strengthening, was not random. It was ordered. Heaven does not improvise with purpose. What felt confusing was actually precise, and what felt heavy was shaping capacity inside you. There were moments you questioned yourself, moments you wondered if you were imagining the resistance, the attention, the inner shifting. But now you can see more clearly. You were never being tested to be broken. You were being prepared to be stable. God was not asking you to survive, He was teaching you how to stand. And standing requires grounding, discernment, and trust. You no longer need to search for signs in every situation or brace yourself for hidden danger. Protection has already been assigned. Guidance has already gone ahead of you. What is meant for you will not miss you, and what is not meant for you will no longer be able to linger. That is not a loss. That is mercy. Heaven has filtered your environment so your spirit can remain clear and your purpose intact. Understand this deeply: peace is not a pause in your journey, it is proof of alignment. When things feel calmer now, it does not mean you are stagnant. It means you are secure. When you feel less reactive, less pulled, less pressured, it is not because you care less. It is because you see more. Awareness has replaced anxiety. Discernment has replaced fear. As you move forward, do not rush to explain yourself or justify your path. Let your consistency speak. Let your peace speak. The right people will recognize it without being convinced. The right doors will open without force. The right timing will feel steady, not chaotic. Heaven's order does not arrive loudly, but it endures. There will still be challenges, but they will no longer define you. There will still be uncertainty, but it will no longer control you. You are learning how to walk with confidence that does not depend on outcome, approval, or understanding. That kind of confidence is rare, and it is protected. So rest now, not in passivity, but in trust. Keep your heart soft and your boundaries firm. Stay attentive, but not anxious. Move when guided, and stand still when instructed. You do not need to manage what heaven is already overseeing. Chosen one, you are covered. You are guided. You are aligned. And what comes next will meet you where you are, steady, prepared, and at peace.